All right, so I'm going to take a look at Carlinville Library and see if I can help you with resizing your logo. Oh, okay, let me see. That's the old site. Carlinville dot. Let's see if I can get this right in one try. Oh. Do you know the URL of the cloud site? If not, I can look it up. Okay, I'll find it. And is this Janet that I'm talking to? All right. Oh, welcome to the Q&A. And let's see, I pulled this up. Yeah, I didn't realize that was one of the Illinois libraries. You guys' cloud URLs are not quite as intuitive as some of the other ones. Let's see. All right. So this is the logo that you're talking about right here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save off a copy of that logo. And I'll open it. I'm using paint.net, which is it's more full featured than the original Paint. It's like a Microsoft, a Windows native Photoshop alternative, because it can do a lot of the stuff that you would need a more advanced editing program to do. All right, so let's see. All right, so if I go here to say resize, I see that so the current size of this image is 567 pixels wide by 756 tall. So if I wanted to make a smaller version of that, then I can say if I wanted it to be 50% the size that it is now. So I can do that, and that will bring it down to 378 pixels height. And so what I'll do, I'll save a version of it. It just says smaller. And so what that'll do is it'll allow me to sorry, let me get my bearings here. I'm trying to do things. The program that I'm using to do that is called paint.net. It's something that I found on my computer when I looked for something to open an image in. There's also, if you don't have something on your computer already, there's one that I've used a lot in the past called GIMP. It's a free Photoshop alternative. So you can download that just by searching for it, and there's an official site here. And there's a learning curve because it is like an advanced photo editing thing. But any photo editing program can allow you to resize things. And I'll try and put together an article that will kind of describe the basic approach to it. And I can use paint.net and maybe use GIMP also. Okay, cool. I see GIMP is very, very user-friendly. I'm glad you feel that way. I remember back when I first started trying to use it, I was completely confused by it, but that was a long time ago. Okay. Henry said Michigan has shared a PDF with some free graphics editing options. Okay, yeah, that's helpful. I'll make sure that I link that as well on our knowledge base. And yeah, you can use Picasso, like Phyllis said. So there's a bunch of different options for how you can do it. Most of them should offer you kind of the same general kinds of tools. It's just in what menus you'll find them might differ. So say I've resized my logo and I want to replace the one that's on there now. So I'm logged in, and I would go, and I do, before I make any changes on your site, I do have the original size of the logo saved off. So if you don't like the change that I'm making, we can always revert it. So I'll just go down to replace site logo image, and I will pick the, oh, where did I put that? Let me find it real quick. I thought I had put it in that same folder, but apparently I didn't. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Oops. Okay, I can't tell if that made a difference or not. I believe it should have, although it might be resizing it down to a different. Let me see real quick how large it's actually displaying it. Okay, so all I did was reduce it down to a slightly smaller dimension and re-upload it, and so now it's a little bit more manageable size. I don't know if you're looking for it to be smaller than that or larger than that, but that's the general. All right, and Janet, if you can let me know. Let's see. Okay. Okay, yeah. So, but that in general, that's how you would. I mean, there's no way to resize it on the site itself. There's, so you have to use an editor outside of the site. So, and while if you have if you have a very large logo, then a lot of the time the site logo will scale it down. But then what you'll see is when you start changing the size of your browser and it switches between different views, then sometimes it'll get very large. And I'll use, let's see, this one may or may not be a good example. Yeah, see, so this image that I'm using here on my test site, the full resolution of it is very large. So when I shrink my window down at some sizes, it'll zoom in at first and then it'll start scaling down again. And so, but it'll only ever zoom in to the max resolution that the image was saved at. So if you don't want it to get that big, then just save it at a smaller, at a lower, a smaller size, and then it'll like stay that the size that it is that you see here. Anyway, yeah, thank you everybody for your suggestions on different image editors. I'll try and go through and grab all those and just put a list together of solutions that people are using to refer to.